Shall we start? Right. Thank you. Is there any new joinees today who haven't joined us today? Or everybody here or from yesterday's class? Anyone, please? No one? Okay, fine. Right. I will take you through the few more brief content about Power Apps and Power Automate. Okay, first let me show you what are we going to discuss in this 45 days. Let me share my screen first. Share screen. Yeah. So this is the Power Automate with Power Apps content, which we are going to discuss in these 45 days. Okay. So first we will start with the overview of Power Apps. What Power Apps contains, what are the types of Power Apps we can create using the Power Apps application. And then we are going to see how to start with developing the application. Then what are the different types of controls we can use to generate the application, right? So these all like navigations, everything. These are all we are going to discuss in our upcoming classes. All together, I'm going to finish in 45 days. Once your course content is finished, you are going to work on 2 applications, which are real-time applications, and then you are done with your course. Okay, so we will see what are the navigations and notifications and how the Power Apps is going to connect with external data sources using the connectors. Then what are the different cloud applications we can use to create the application. That is SharePoint Online is one of the cloud application we are going to use to generate the Canvas applications, Power Apps applications. Then what are the different types of views, like a table view or a gallery view or forms, how we create them in the Power Apps and how to share them, how we create the conditions, then how we distribute that with the external users, how we define the different types of variables, right? And using the formulas also. So these are all topics we are going to cover in our next 45 days. I will share this content with you. And this is another type of application we are going to develop using Power Apps. There are different types of applications in Power Apps. I will discuss that moving on. And this is one of the type of that application. And this is one of the data source we are going to use. And at the end, we are going to discuss on the Power Automate. Right? So these are all the different topics we are going to discuss in detail with practical examples. I'm mentioning again and again practical examples because using practical examples only you are going to remember the topic easily. Without practical examples, it's very difficult to remember what exactly that topic or that definition, that exact, the visual or anything, what exactly it does. That's why we use practical examples to make you understand easily. Okay, so this is the course content for us. Now I'll just give you the overview of the Power Apps for today. I'll not go in detail, just very brief points about Power Apps. Okay, starting, I don't want to, in the starting itself, I don't want to put a more burden on you. Just will pick up slowly. Once you are comfortable with the class, once you are comfortable with me, when you start to interact with me, then I can go in detail. Until that, I can feel that you're not comfortable with me. So please open yourself. Okay, fine. We'll start with overview of Power Apps. What is Power Apps? Does anybody remember what we discussed yesterday? I just told you a definition of Power Apps. Anyone? Okay. So Power Apps is a suite of applications, services, connectors, and a data platform, which provides a rapid application development to build custom applications for the business needs. Don't worry that the definition is itself big one. Don't worry. It's very simple. It basically provides the space to create the application. To create the on top of what you are going to create the application, there should be some data, right? You should be having some data. Then only you can create the application, right? Or without data, you have created the application. You need something to store the data after filling that application, correct? For example, you have a Amazon application. You're going to order some products from Amazon. How you are seeing that products in the list? That means they stored the details somewhere, correct? That is called a data source, where the data is stored, right? And let's say you have okay, this is for example of a data source. You have you're filling a form to open the account, to the bank account. You're filling a form, right? How, if you fill the form and give it to them, does it automatically happen to create the account? Once the form get filled, will account get open automatically? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Will will the account get open automatically if you once you fill the form? No, right? You need to perform some actions to open the account. For example, you have been to bank to open the account. They have given you the application form. You need to fill that application form with your details, personal details, and you will hand over that form to the employee over there. That automatically the account will not get open for you, right? That when they create the account, then with your user details, then only the account is getting created. That means your details are getting stored somewhere, right? It's not like as soon as you give the application, the details will automatically pick up by the account, and it's not generating automatically. Correct? Someone is opening the account. That means they are storing your details somewhere, right? Or yes or no? Did you understand my point? Okay, forget about this. You're organizing some function. You should know how many guests are coming. Without knowing, you cannot order the food, right? You can order, but it will be like an approximate number of people. But if you get to know number of people for attending the function, then it will be easy for you to organize, right? You will provide some form to them to fill out who is attending and who is not attending, and if attending, whether they are veg or non-veg, right? So these details, if you want to know, you will provide the application and the guest will fill that application and send that to you. The data, if the data will not store anywhere, how can you analyze? It's not possible, right? You will not get to know how many are coming and how many are not coming. They will fill the form, but it will not store anywhere. What is the point of submitting the form? Correct? To store the data somewhere, we are using some connectors to connect to the data source. That is your, wherever you are storing the data, that is your data source. Okay. So using this connectors, Power Apps is going to connect to the different sources and bring the data into Power Apps or send the data from Power Apps to store somewhere. That is what we do with Power Apps applications. Either whatever the application you create in Power Apps, either you are using the data into the application or you are using the application to store the data. Confused here? Simple. You can use the data to show the data, whatever is there in the data source. That is one application. Another application is whatever the user input the data. That means whatever the user wants to store the data. With another application, you are storing it in somewhere in the cloud or somewhere in the desktop or somewhere in your system. That is called a connector, or that is called a data source. You are connecting through the connector. Okay. This is the Power Apps applications. We are going to do whatever the whatever the applications we develop, it will use a service, a connector, and a data platform. Connectors are used to connect to the different data sources. You can consider connector as a bridge between two places, one source to another destination. You have a bridge to travel. Same way, from Power Apps to the data source, you have a bridge called a connector. For example, you want to pull your data from Excel. You want to load your data from Excel, Microsoft Excel. So Excel is your data source, and the connector you are going to use to connect from Power Apps to Excel is your connector. That is a Excel connector. That is called a connector. Okay. Connector is nothing but a bridge between one place to another place. In Power Apps, we are calling it as a connector to travel the data from one place to another place. Very simple, right? So Power Apps అనేది మనం ఎందుకు యూస్ చేస్తున్నామండి? To develop the applications, right? ఆ అప్లికేషన్స్ తో మనకి ఏంటి? Why we are going to create the applications? One scenario ఏంటంటే, ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్న డేటాని మనం అప్లికేషన్లో లోడ్ చేసుకొని ఆ డేటానంతా కూడా ఒక టాబ్యులర్ ఫార్మాట్ ఆర్ విజువల్స్ ఫార్మాట్లో డిస్ప్లే చేస్తున్నాం యూజర్కి. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ సినారియో. ఇంకొక సినారియో ఏంటి, ఆర్ వన్ యూస్ కేస్. ఇంకొక యూస్ కేస్ ఏంటి, మీ దగ్గర ఒక ఫామ్ ఉంది, ఆ ఫామ్ని యూజర్ ఒక డీటెయిల్స్ని ఎంటర్ చేస్తారు. ఆ డీటెయిల్స్ అన్నింటినీ కూడా ఒక చోట స్టోర్ చేసుకోవడానికి అప్లికేషన్ని యూస్ చేస్తాం. So these are the two different scenarios we are going to use for Power Applications. That is Power Apps. Okay. So ఈ డిఫరెంట్ సోర్స్ని మనం ఎలా కనెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము అంటే యూజింగ్ ఎ కనెక్టర్. కనెక్టర్ అనేది ఒక బ్రిడ్జ్ లాంటిది. అంటే ఒక ప్లేస్ నుంచి ఇంకొక ప్లేస్కి ట్రావెల్ చేయాలి అంటే వీ నీడ్ సమ్ పాత్. దట్ ఈస్ అ connector here. In Power Apps, we call it as a connector. Okay. Okay. And one more thing here is, whatever the application you create using Power Apps, you can run those applications in web format or iOS devices or even Android devices also. You can run all these applications. Run is nothing but you can open that applications. Let's say మీరు ఒక అప్లికేషన్ని డెవలప్ చేశారు పవర్ యాప్స్లో. ఆ అప్లికేషన్ని మీరు షేర్ చేస్తే ఎవరికైనా వాళ్ళు ఇలా వెబ్ బ్రౌజర్లో అయినా ఓపెన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, లేదంటే మొబైల్లో అయినా ఐఓఎస్ యాపిల్ ఫోన్స్లో అయినా యూస్ చేయొచ్చు ఆర్ ఆండ్రాయిడ్ ఫోన్స్లో అయినా యూస్ చేయొచ్చు. When you develop a report or sorry, when you develop an application using Power Apps, that application, if you share to external users, they can open that application either in the web browser, which is like a Chrome or Internet Explorer, anything, and also iOS devices, Apple phones, or even iPads, or even the Android devices also. That is a main benefit of using Power Apps applications. Is it clear till now? Anybody have any question, any clarification? No? Clear? Okay. Can any one of you please revise whatever I have discussed till now? Anyone? If you want, I can name one of you. You want me to name, or will you unmute and tell me?
Hello. Hi, madam.
Hi.
Sorry, this is out of the box question. So sorry that
Yes, please.
I'm discussing this now because I have a different call to join, so I might leave very soon.
No
So
problem.
I have small query, so I wanted to discuss this
Yes,
right now. If you don't mind, I can.
no problem. Please go on.
Yeah. So actually, I was a part of a CRM functional project. So
Okay.
I learned CRM. So this is for CRM only. So I have a minimal knowledge on CRM. Like I was not very good at it, but yeah, but I know.
Mhm.
I have taken a course on CRM, and then currently I was working on some functional project.
Okay.
So how does this Power Apps? I mean, I know CRM is also. I think like CRM is also the part of this Power Apps
Yes. Yes.
only, right? So because I work on the model-driven
It's
application,
not.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
model-driven application. Yeah. So
Mm,
I was currently working on a model-driven functional application. So
mm.
my expertise is related to functional only, not very much
Okay.
onto technical. Like in CRM, we have technical aspects as well, like plugins and some
Mm,
JavaScript validations as well.
mm, mm.
In CRM, but I was not into it. But yeah, in CRM it has it. I
Yeah.
think I was trying to don't go into deeper into CRM, but I wanted
Mm.
to learn Power Apps and choose my career in that way. So how does
Sure.
this helps? Yeah.
Okay. So yes, as you mentioned, in the CRM, there are some, advanced techniques as well, like using the code or using the plugins, external plugins and all. But in Power Apps, without using any those of like a coding or any plugins, you can even develop applications in Power Apps. That's the best advantage comparative with the CRM tools. That's the reason even nowadays people are migrating CRM tools to Power Apps now, because it's a very less code approaches whatever you do in Power Apps, and it's very easy also. It won't take much time like a CRM applications. It's a very simple and user-friendly applications, and I'm sure it will benefit for you. Having CRM knowledge and learning Power Apps and Power Automate is a greatest advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Sure.
The only thing is, whatever you have done in CRM tools and all, you don't need to change any of your experiences. You can just maintain it as a Power Apps and Power Platform tools itself.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. So is it clear till now, whatever we discussed about the overview of Power Apps? Please, yes or no. If no, I can tell you again, repeat everything.
Ma'am,
Yes,
hello.
please.
Ma'am, Power Apps will be used for connectors, no, ma'am. So when we
Mm,
want to drag any files from
mm,
Excel, so
mm,
by using Power Apps only, we can make an application by using
mm.
that only, no, ma'am.
Yes, you don't need to drag the application, drag the Excel or any source into the application. We are going to choose the path over there. It's not that we are dragging and dropping from one place to another place. It's just by choosing what we are going to use as a data source. Whatever you said is exactly correct. Only correction is we are not dragging the files, we are choosing the files. Okay.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
No problem. So for rest of the people, should I imagine that it's clear for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Sadashiva, Kanika Gowda. Okay, thank you. What about the others? Sadashiva, who is this iPhone user? Can you please rename it to your name? iPhone. I can see someone with the name iPhone. What's your name, please? Naveen, Sadashiva, Srinivasu. Did you get what I'm telling now?
Yeah, ma'am, I got. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, fine. Thank you. Right. So we have discussed only about the overview of Power Apps. What is Power Apps? It's a application development platform. We are going to design it with a low code or no code approach. That's a Power Apps. And in Power Apps, we will be having multiple connectors to connect to our data sources. And whatever the applications we create using Power Apps, those can be accessible in web browser or Apple devices or Android devices. And we can even easily transform this into the business processes and even the workflows. Workflows here is nothing but a Power Automate flows. Okay. So we are going to connect the Power Apps to Power Automate and we'll see how the flow executes to update the application or to receive the notifications or anything. Okay. So this is the overview of Power Apps. And now what are the different types of Power Apps we are having? We can develop three types of applications using Power Apps. One is Canvas application, model driven application, and portal applications. I'm just naming all these things. And once we start with the practical exercises, then I will show you everything in Power Apps. For that also you need user IDs or user accounts, which institute is going to provide you. So once you get all those details, we will see the main Power Apps page and the portal. Okay. So we have three different types of Power Apps. One is Canvas application, model driven applications, and the portal applications. All three are very different. Canvas applications are more customizable, like whatever the way you wanted to create the applications, you can create as per your interest and as per your requirement. We can do many customizations like background changing, color changing, image inserting, image adding. A lot of changes we can do using the Canvas applications. But the other type of application, which is called as a model driven application, it's a application which is built on top of your data model. So we cannot do much customizations on top of that, but we can design and I mean that whatever the design and layout you're going to do, that will be automatically generated by the Power Apps. So you have to stick to that design and layout, but you cannot do any customizations on top of that. That is a model driven application. Okay. So when we use Canvas application and when we use model driven applications, for example, you have a project or the application which you need to start from the scratch, or you have the application requirement you need to do more customizations to that application, like fields, input fields, or providing images or layout design. You have more customizations on your application, then you will go with the Canvas apps. Examples of the Canvas apps are like a service restaurant applications, like whatever the services the restaurant is going to provide, those services like catering or dine-in or delivery. So these are all the services one of the restaurants are providing. So you need to have the application for that, right? Which you are choosing, which you want to choose. So for that, we can provide application. We can design application in such a way that whatever the service you wanted to choose, you can choose from that application and continue with your um, services or options. So for that cases, we can go with the Canvas applications. Also like expense tracking, you want to track your daily expenses or monthly expenses. For that also, we can create a Canvas applications, right? And also something like a ticketing tools. There are some ticketing tools in market which you wanted to raise a ticket. For example, you have internet, and internet is sometime it may go down, right? The services will go down and internet will not work properly. So you will raise the ticket, you'll raise the request, or you raise the complaint. That complaint can be considered as a ticket. So that ticket, to raise the complaint, there should be some application. This Power Apps, using Canvas application, you can create that type of application also. Okay. And when you go with the model driven applications, for example, you have a project management application or student management application, like whatever the student details are there, which class the student is studying, which college or which university, and what are the grades that student got, which year passed out, which year joined, and which teacher is teaching which subject. So these details we can create using the model driven application. Or even you can do travel booking applications. You want to travel one place to another place, you want to book some flight or a train or any bus or any either the by road or trains, anything, any source you wanted to book, you can use the travel booking applications that can be built on top of the model driven apps. Okay, so these are all different examples for Canvas applications and model driven applications. We have another type of application also, which is a portal application. What is portal application? These are the external facing websites which allows users outside your organization. For example, your university have a external users which provides books to the library, or what we call food supply to the hostel. So these are all the external users. They are not internal users to your university. Those are all external users itself of your organization. So to interact with your website, you can provide a new website to the external users and allow them to interact with the data which is stored in your organization. For that we can use the portal applications, which can be ideal for the reports, like pharmaceutical reports. If you go for a testing to one of the blood test or BP test or anything, if you go to that what we call, I'm forgetting the names also. I'm sorry. You have gone to the radiology department for some tests or to the hospital. Hospital people will not provide you entire access of their data, right? Hospital data will contain like patient's information, all doctors' information and everything. So that they will not provide you with their internal data. You just have access to your data, which is a reports, radiology reports or blood reports or BP reports, anything, your health performance reports. For that, they will create an external website where you can log into that website and get your information whichever you require. So that's why we create the portal applications. These portal applications can also have the what we call host name. We can buy the host name also, right? So these are all the different types of applications we are going to generate with using the Power Apps. Okay. Is it clear till now? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Remaining people, anybody have any questions? Bhumika, Naveen? No, nothing? Clear, everything?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, fine. So this is the very basics of the Power Apps. Tomorrow we will see how the Power Apps page looks. I will show you the home page and what exactly Power Apps contains and everything. Then by Monday, if you get access to your accounts, then we will start with the developing each simple applications in the Power Apps. Okay, clear? Admin unnara andi?
మేడం చెప్పండి శ్రీనివాస్ మాట్లాడుతున్నాను
Sir, are we going to provide the users by Monday to them?
yes madam Monday to the everyone each person
Okay, fine, sir. Sure, thank you. So yes, by Monday you are going to get the accounts. We can start with the just with simple applications in Power Apps. Okay, fine. All right, thank you everyone for joining today. We'll
Ma'am, tomorrow is there class?
yes, tomorrow same time.
Okay, tomorrow also demo only.
Tomorrow we'll go some some detail into the Power Apps. I will show you practically how the Power Apps looks and what and all we are going to do in Power Apps. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
ma'am, are you giving any soft copy notes?
Yes, I will provide you, including this
Okay,
content and each topic questions, important questions, and also the definitions and the notes I will provide you at the end of every class.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Fine. If you want, you can maintain your running notes also, but anyways, I will provide with examples.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you everyone. See you tomorrow, same time.
okay man thank you very much thank you guys
Thank you, sir.